So last July in Producers Club, I sat in the hotel lobby talking with fellow Producer Club members, David and Neil, about how to grow our businesses. I went home and implemented those changes, and by the end of 2022, we increased our MRR, monthly recurring revenue, $70,893, and our profits were up 76%. So listen close, because I'm about to tell you exactly how I did it. Who here knows how to cook really good meth? I know what you're thinking. I thought this guy got on stage selling IT services. Well, that's not where my story starts. Back in 2006, I just got married to my beautiful wife, Rachel, and we moved into a rundown apartment. Not long after we got moved in, I started getting sick. I mean, really sick. I was covered in hives from head to toe, and my throat would close off, and I needed multiple trips to the emergency room because I couldn't breathe. Long story made short, we found out that our apartment was contaminated with meth. We ended up losing everything.
Wow.
Including the clothes on our back, because everything was contaminated. The only thing that we got to keep was all the debt that we collected from buying everything we needed to start our new lives together. Oh, I also got to keep the hives that covered my entire body like giant welts for the next 15 years. In 2009, we decided it was time to start our family. And at our 20-week ultrasound, we found out that our daughter had hypoplastic left heart syndrome. It meant that the left side of her heart didn't develop. Zoe spent the first year in and out of the ICU and needed multiple open heart surgeries. Additionally, we no longer could afford to have office space, and we had to move our office into our basement. Now, I don't tell you about these problems to get your pity, but I want you guys to see that we literally started with less than nothing, and if I can grow my business, so can all of you. 2018, things were so hard that we had to take money out of our personal savings just to make payroll. That same month, we received a letter from Technology Marketing Toolkits, and it looked way too good to be true. But I was desperate, really desperate at this point. So I scheduled an appointment, and very soon, I received the TMT shock and awe box. And I remember what stood out to me the very, very most was their testimonial book. It was full of page after page of client reviews of how great TMT is. So I took the leap of faith. I put the cost of rapid implementation on the credit card because I had no other way to pay for it. Within the 90 days, we brought in over $14,000 of new monthly recurring revenue and closed over $467,000 worth of contracts. Every time we solve a problem, we grow, but we did encounter additional problems. We were sending out aspirin campaign letters, but the leads we were getting, they weren't qualified and they couldn't afford our services. It wasn't until the third time that I went to Rapid that I learned that we needed to clean our list better. By cleaning our list better, we were able to 3 times our marketing results with the same exact amount of effort. I gave a presentation on this back in January's Producers Club, and there are multiple people that are using this exact process and getting great results. Brian says, using Adam's list cleaning process, we've easily doubled our appointment rate each week. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. And problems just keep on coming. In 2021, we had a customer come to us that would have paid us $6,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. Unfortunately, they went with another MSP that had more industry authority. Later that year, TMT talked about how to become the industry authority. So in 2022, we took their advice, and we created a shock and awe box. Inside that shock and awe box, we put our Amazon best-selling book, Cyberstorm, the MSP Success magazine that featured me on the cover, a video brochure that introduced me as the authority and talked about our security assessment process, and a testimonial book, just like the one TMT had, that had such an impact on me. And by the end of 2022, our closing rates were up to 67%. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. Now, some of this may sound like magic to you guys, but it's not. It's a numbers game. Robin was talking in July's Producers Club of last year, and while she was talking, I created this Excel spreadsheet. This Excel spreadsheet allows me to enter in my growth goals, and it not only tells me what I need to do to hit that goal, but it even calculates and tells me how much it'll cost. Now, this is customizable to any company, And when somebody enters in some crucial pieces of information, we are able to calculate their percentages. Based on their percentages and what they want to grow by, we can put together their entire marketing plan and budget for the year. I shared this file with the whole community as well, and people are using that and also having great success. Paul says, Adam's presentation on marketing by numbers was a game changer. His spreadsheet enabled us to restructure our marketing plan for predictable growth. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. Now, when I say every time we solve a problem, we grow, I'm talking about this community, the TMT community. Every time this community has a problem, we solve it together, we grow. My accountability group. I can't say enough good things about my accountability group. These guys have become some of my best friends, and every time any one of us has an issue, we work together on it, and together we solve it, and together we grow. But it's not just my accountability group. It's the entire TMT community. It was Neil and David who led me and opened my mind to see such a bigger picture of what my company could become. It was Robin who taught me how to grow by numbers. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. It was Rapid Implementation that taught me I need to clean my list better. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. I tried for over a decade to get my office out of my basement, and I never could do it alone. It wasn't until I attended Rapid that led me to this community and changed my life and the lives of my family forever. Medical bills are no longer a burden. Our house is now our home. And I was even also able to get rid of my hives with a can of cherry Coke a day. I don't know why it works, but it does. Every time we solve a problem, we grow. So find those problems in your business and in your life. Don't address them with dread. Face them head on, because every time we solve a problem, we grow. Now, sharks, I brought for each of you a shock and awe box so that you could see what it is that we use that has allowed us to increase our closing rate to that 67%. And the reason that I deserve your guys' vote today is the systems I just talked to you guys about, the shock and awe box, the marketing by numbers, sending out the digital ads. These are things that are all repeatable. They're scalable to any growth goal, and that's what these systems and processes is what grew our MRR by over $70,000 and increased our profits by 76%. Thank you.
All right, can we set the clock at 7 minutes? It had an extra 6 minutes on it, please.
So I have a question right out of the gate here. You know, you didn't talk much about the customer base you've built. You're very successful. Congrats on coming out of a tough place in 2018. That's good. But all of this marketing, all of this effort, if I look at the base, what percentage of them now are annual contracts? What are monthly? In other words, my question is, what's the quality of all of that work? What do you got in a customer base?
I love that question. So when we started with TMT, we had 0 monthly recurring revenue. Well, I guess we had a couple clients, but very
monthly
little.
Recurring. I want to know how many are locked in for a year or longer.
Oh yeah, every one of them. At this point, we've completed over to complete MSP, and every one of our clients are locked into usually a 3-year contract.
Wow, good for you.
Do you know I've got investments in so many companies, some of them now spending $2 million a month on digital marketing. And I always ask them, do you know what it costs you to acquire a customer? Because the biggest excuse people make, including some of you in this room, is to say, well, that campaign didn't yield great results, but it helped build our brand. Yeah. I say bullshit.
I agree with you.
If it didn't bring in a customer, you wasted that money.
Yes.
So what does it cost you to acquire the
So
next
using that Excel sheet that we created, I know my exact cost. It costs us $4,532 to get a client.
You know that number.
I know that number.
I like you even more.
So Adam, one question, just piggybacking on the previous question. What is your customer base like? Is it geographically focused, vertically focused? And the second part is, what is your pricing philosophy? How do you price? You know, for gold, silver, bronze, machine, person. Love to hear a little bit about that.
Yes. Start off with your first part of your question. So we're based in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we've started with that market. Last year we had roughly 3,000 people that were in our farm list that we were marketing to. And we do that within a 75-mile radius of our office. They have to have at least 10 employees. They have to have over $1 million in revenue. And usually we find if they go over that 100 employees, usually they have some kind of a co-managed plan that we go with. This year, we're doubling down on that, and we're taking everything we did last year, and we're trying to get our list up to that 6,000 and double down on everything that we did. And then second part of the question was what our plans look like. So we have a managed service plan. That's where most of our customers are on, is that plan. We do have a lower plan if they don't want to quite do that. We call it our Cyber Care plan. Cyber Care does not include service. And then we have our Security Plus that gives managed service. It's an add-on to that.
What, when you decided to clean the list, you said your conversion rate was what? And then you had to go further into it. Explain that further again, because because of the audio, I missed a little bit.
No, you're good. So when we first started, we were sending out all these campaign letters. We were getting leads in, and we did that 3 times results. And what we did that off of was based off of the qualified leads that we were getting, because we were getting people that were coming in and they were interested in us, but they couldn't afford us. And so by us cleaning our list, we were getting the same number of leads, maybe a few more, but now they could afford us, and then they converted.
And did you find that you improved the communication, the delivery of the services, or you found that you just went after more viable clients as you dug deeper into cleaning the list?
I would say we have way more viable clients by cleaning our list, and so I think that was the main focus, was just to get in front of that right audience.
Okay.
And Adam, what software stack do you use to manage the customers?
Talking about marketing or on the
Yeah,
service
like when you
side?
sell a managed service for the devices, are you using Fred software? Like, but I'm just
really put me on the spot here.
No, I'm just, where I'm really going with the question is, a lot of the software stacks, including your software stack, you can log into to make updates, to make patch. I mean, that's the whole beauty of the software stack. So I'm asking because you keep saying 75-mile radius. Multiple times you said the customer is my addressable market. And I'm wondering, why are you limiting yourself to 75 miles? Because if the value of you taking care of my network is you can log in, you can do the updates, you can update my antivirus, you can update all the other stuff, how often do you physically have to go on site?
Those are all good questions. I feel like the point that you're trying to get to is, why are we not going bigger? And the big point is we have to start somewhere, and we started with nothing. We've built it to that 3,000. We'll build it to 6,000. That's probably our whole area that's in that market, and we can't grow any faster than that, and that's when we expand. So if we can do it close and regional, let's do it there. But as soon as we get our list built up, that's the plan. Right. Keep on growing, keep doubling down.
I guess my question, I agree with you. You don't want to grow too fast. Sometimes. It's better to grow too fast than not grow at all. I will say that. But why, is there a comfort with geographic area? Is there just,
we find that a lot of people like to have that FaceTime, so they like to have somebody that will come out and visit them once in a while. So we can do 99% probably of everything we do is remote, and the customers know that.
Adam, you're a great presenter, first of all, and I think you're selling yourself short. I agree with you. People like the comfort of a regional business. You know, like, hey, are you guys local? Yeah. I mean, when I started my company, I'd fly to New York, and people say, are you local? And I say, I can be here once a week, right? Like, if the deal is big enough, I'll be local. You're a very, very good presenter. And I just think you got to go where the business is. You have a phenomenal business and, you know, a great story. Congratulations.
So to further Robert's question is then, when you want to scale, can you replicate, do you believe you could replicate that business and not have to physically show up?
So our story, we got to a certain limit and we just thought we could grow by making our processes and our company maturity better without marketing. And we thought, oh, the business is just going to come. But it doesn't. Without marketing, the business doesn't come. So I feel like we are more mature on a process level than probably most companies that are our size.
How many people have you hired to sell?
So we have 6 people on our marketing and sales team right now.
I mean,
so we are really
people,
investing.
not marketing people,
Sales.
salespeople.
Salespeople, we have 2.
Have what?
2.
2.
Not enough.
I agree. As soon as we get more money, we'll keep hiring them. We invest right now, last year we invested 12% into marketing, so it's higher than the average. This year, where we're trying to double down on everything, We're taking that up to 19%, but it'll only be there for a couple months, and then it'll drop back down as we're
But
bringing.
why, I think Kevin has a good question. Why don't you have more salespeople? You know, I happen to come from another industry, and I think that's maybe why I'm here, because sometimes I look at it with a different lens. You know, the most successful store for a while in New York City was called Century 21. And I asked the guy, I said, why are you so successful? He said, well, you see what you see here more than anything else? I said, what? He said, registers. And he said, because the reason why, a lot of times people are dying to give you the money. They're standing online, they have their clothes, and then all of a sudden they go, I'll come back for it. Or a mother's there and the kid is crying, like, Jesus Christ, I can't take this, I'll come back. Or there is nobody at a register. He said, I will always take your money. Why are you not going out and having more registers instead if you have a viable product?
That's a valid question. So I think that's the next step. We've got to keep just pushing it and doing everything that we can to keep pushing it. And I think that's
You know,
a
I
great
still,
next step.
I think Robert's asking the same question.
Yeah, Robin has a great business, but you're doing something that very few people do. I mean, we all go to all these seminars, people tell you how to do things, how to improve. Very few people actually leave the event and put it in place. You've executed, my friend.
Yeah.
You put together a spreadsheet. You're doing
Yeah,
it.
you are doing it, man.
All right?
Yeah.
But I think to Damon's point, the next step is I would just be more aggressive with the sales component. And I think you can continue to scale the marketing because you're obviously doing it.
And you know, just take it with a grain of salt, because I had the same conversation with my wife, and she told me to sleep on the couch. So we know you've overcome a lot, and we just are excited for you. So we want you to
So
do
in
bigger
that
and
answer of 2 salespeople, is one of them you?
No.
And Adam, you have the margins to do it.
If
And
you count me, then that'd be 3. So
you're doing 20% margins, so you can keep your base. You can even lower your margin to invest.
His
more in
EBITDA
sales
is
to
amazing.
grow. You got good margins at your size. So
Yeah. All right.
great.
Then we're good, guys?
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Congratulations.